Hi everyone, it's Tutorials by A here, and today I'll be showing you how to create this really cool ribcage bracelet. Now, if you are familiar with my Lifesaver bracelet, that was a tutorial I made a while ago. But if you're familiar with that, this is basically the same exact thing, except we use double bands instead of double looped bands. Now, even though it is the same kind of design, I did name it two different names at the time when I made this a long time ago, just because I feel like they look so different. And also, I'm making this tutorial because a ton of you requested it, even though it's the same exact hooking process and everything. So many of you requested how to make this bracelet, and yeah, like I said, although I did refer to you the other tutorial, a lot of you wanted a new one. So this is also a great way to update my Lifesaver tutorial as well. So if you're making the Lifesaver bracelet and need a few tips, maybe you can come to this video for a little bit of help because it is more recent. So anyways, enough talking. Before we get started, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I lost track of what I was going to say there. And so anyways, now without further ado, let's get started. So today you will need any type of loom. I'll be using a rainbow loom today. You will also need a hook. I'm using a rainbow loom metal tipped hook. You also need a C-clip. I'm using a large C-clip that comes with these special packs of bands here. These are online exclusive rainbowloom.com bands, and they are part of the medieval collection. I have them linked down in the description box below in case you'd like to check out these really awesome bands. But they are dual layer, and as you can see, we've got a layer on the inside and then a layer on the outside of two different colors, which is really cool. So the outside of these ones are silver, and I think they'll have a really cool effect on this bracelet. So anyways, I'll be using these colors as well as just plain white, and whatever color you'd like to be the single strip of single chain right here, you'll need about 45 of those, and whatever color you'd like to be the rib cage sort of part right here, you'll need about 80 of those. So anyways, all of my supplies today are from rainbowloom.com, and now without further ado, let's get started. So for this, we're only going to be using 4 pins, and it doesn't matter which ones. I'm just going to use these ones near the end of my loom. And we're going to start by putting on the band color that we want for the very inside middle of the bracelet. Like here, I used white. So I'm going to use white for this, and I'm going to use double bands for the entire bracelet for all the bands that we put on. Always use 2 at a time. And you're going to twist that in the center, right there. And now we are going to add on our next bands, and for me this is going to be my purple, so I'm going to take 2 of these, and then you want to twist these also. And then take 2 of my other purple and place that on the opposite side. So that way we've got that on the left and right sides, both twisted, and it doesn't matter the direction that they're twisted in. And now I'm going to take 2 of my white bands and put those on horizontally. We're not going to twist bands anymore. So that way when you're finished, your loom should look like this on the side. So now we are going to go ahead and start the hooking process, and for this we're going to be doing inverted fishtail stitches for these 2 center pins. So you're going to go inside the middle layer and then grab this bottom white layer right here and hook that over and release. Push that down, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Now it's a little bit harder, but you're going to go inside the 2 layers here that are in the center and kind of circle around so that way you can grab these white bands that are on the bottom. Both of them, pull that over and release. Push your bands down now, and we're going to go ahead and start the next step for bands. So for this, I'm going to be using blue next. We're going to take 2 blue and place that on each side. And it doesn't matter which one you put on first as long as you get them on there. So using 2 bands at a time for that on the left and right sides. So you should have something like this right here. Now for the hooking process, we're only going to hook the 2 outer pins right here. So you're going to take your hook and you're going to grab the bottom 2 bands here and pull that over the pin and release. Same thing for the right side. Bottom 2 bands here, pull that over the pin and release. So that way you get something like this now. Now we're going to hook the center pins, and for this you're going to go inside the top 4 layers, or the top 2 colors I guess, and then grab the bottom 2, which are my purple here. So I'm going to grab the bottom 2 purple, pull that up and over the pin and release. So make sure those are off the pin, and we wanted to get rid of those so that way you can see they're not on the pin anymore. push that down, and do the same thing to this side. Go inside the top 4 bands and grab the bottom 2 and pull that over the pin and release, just like that. So then you can take your hook and kind of stretch this outwards a little bit. It's going to be a little tight for now, but just leave it how it is. Now we're going to add on our 2 middle white bands here. So put that across the middle. And now it's time to do our inverted fishtail stitches. So you're going to go inside the middle 2 bands, grab the bottom 2, and pull that over the pin and release. Now we're going to go do the same thing on this side. So go inside the middle 2, circle around, and then grab the bottom 2, and then hook that over in the center and release. Push your bands down. And it's now time to add the 2 outsides. So I'm going to be using green for this. I'm going to put 2 on each side. Just like that. So I've got 2 bands on each side there. Now it's time to start the hooking process again. We're going to grab the bottom 2 on the very left pin and then pull that over and release. And then for this side, grab the bottom 2 again, pull that over the pin and release. So now it's time to hook the 2 middle pins, and so you're going to go inside the top 4 layers, grab the bottom 2 here, pull that through, and pull that over the pin, and then completely let that go. For this side, you're going to do the same thing, go inside the top 4, and then grab the very bottom 2, pull that over, and release. So that way you get something like this. So as your bracelet grows longer, goodness, I can't speak. As your bracelet grows longer, you'll be able to kind of pull on it so that way it doesn't get all scrunched up. Right now it's still a little short, so it's kind of hard to do. So we'll just wait until it gets a little bit longer to do that. So now we're going to put our 2 center bands on again. For me, this is white. Put that on right here. And I'm going to do the hooking process again. Remember, we do inverted fishtail stitches for this. So inside the middle 2, grab the bottom 2 and pull that over. Inside the middle 2, grab the bottom 2, over and release. Push your bands down, and now it's time to add the 2 outside bands here. So now I'll be using yellow, just like that, and it's time to add or do the hooking process again now. So you're going to grab the bottom 2 here, pull that over, and then the bottom 2 here, pull that over. Just like that. And now it's time to do the hooking process. So we're going to go inside, or the hooking process for the inner 2 pins. We're going to go inside the 4 layers at the top, grab the bottom 2, pull that over the pin, and release. This pin has the same exact process inside the top 4 layers over here, for the top 2, it depends what your thinking is, I guess. And then grab the bottom 2, pull that over, and release. Just like that. So let's see if we can tug on our bracelet a little bit here. There we go. So as you can see, we've got the start of our bracelet right here, and as it grows longer, you want to make sure that you keep tugging it, so that way you make sure it's not clumped up, so that way when you're finishing off your bracelet, you don't accidentally make it too big after you stretch it out at the very end. So you want to keep doing that, and I'm just going to add my 2 center bands on now, just like that, and do inverted fishtail stitches on this side and this side. Inside the second layer, grab the bottom layer. That's the same exact thing, just like that. And then we're going to add on our next layer, 2 bands on each side here. Grab the bottom 2, pull that over, and the bottom 2 here, and pull that over. As for the 2 center pins, we're going to go inside the top 4 bands, grab the bottom 2 bands, and pull that over. And over here, inside the top 4 bands, grab the bottom 2 bands, pull that over. Just like that. Then after that, I'm just going to give this a little bit of a tug. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that process a few more times, and then I'll be going off camera to finish off my bracelet. So, we're going to take 2 bands for the center. And when we do the center pins, we're always going to do inverted fishtail stitches. So go inside the 2 middle and then grab the 2 bottom and pull that over the pin. And I'll show you a bird's eye view here. Inside the 2 middle, grab the 2 bottom and pull that over the pin. Now we are going to do the 2 outside sets of bands. So left side and now the right side. And now we are going to go ahead and start the hooking process. So for this, grab the bottom 2 here, pull that over, and the bottom 2 here, pull that over. And then for the center 2, we are going to go inside the top 4, grab the bottom 2, and pull that over, and release. For here, go inside the top 4, grab the bottom 2, or I grabbed 1, oops. Here we go. Grab the bottom 2 or 1. Let's try that again. There we go. Bottom 2, pull that over and release. So, give this a little bit of a tug here. As you can see, there's our rib cage bracelet forming just right there. So, I'm going to show you guys how to do this 2 more times. So remember, at the middle 2, and do inverted fishtail stitches here, inside the center 2, and then grab the bottom 2. And then the left and right sides, we're going to take 2 bands here, and then 2 bands here. And time for the hooking process again. So bottom 2 on each side, go over, and then for the 2 center, you're going to go inside the top 2, grab the bottom 2, pull that over, inside the top 4, sorry, then grab the bottom 2. This side, okay, try this again. There we go, pull that over and release. Okay, so I showed you that process once, if you count those 2 as a pair, so I'll show you one last time. Middle 2 bands, and then do inverted fishtail stitches, and then do the outer 2, bottom 2, pull over, bottom 2, pull over. Then for the inside, top 4, inside, and then grab the bottom 2, pull over. Then for this right side, go inside the top 4, grab the bottom 2, and again, I messed that up. Okay, I got 1. Goodness gracious, I'm not having a good hooking day today. There we go. And then push those down, and there is our rib cage bracelet forming. So anyways, you're going to continue those steps until you get a full wrist length of chain here. I'm going to go ahead and go off camera to finish my bracelet. If you're still having trouble, then feel free to rewind the video and rewatch the previous instructions. If you're doing if you are doing great, then keep on going, and I will be right back to show you how to take this off of your loom. Okay, so I'm back with my full length of bracelet, and this is what my loom looks like now. You want to end on the last band that you put on being this white right here. So after that, we are now going to go ahead and take, oops, sorry, I just bumped the camera. You're going to take a double of your white bands or whatever color you used in the center, and you're going to put your, well actually, sorry, you're going to place them on top of this pin right here. And then you're going to hold those on that pin because you don't want those to fall off. Stick your hook up these 4 pins right here. Or 4 bands, sorry. And then you want to grab these double white bands so that way they go to the bottom of the pin. So So that way you've got 2 white bands, but they're at the very bottom. So you want to pull them through these bands that are at the top here, so that way they come to the bottom. And then you're going to go ahead, reach your hook inside of these, oh goodness, inside of these 4 layers of bands right here, and grab these double bands right here. Pull those through, and then attach them around the pin. Just like that, and then you can pull those down to the base as well. So that way you get something like this when you're done. After that, we're just going to transfer the left and right sides of the blue bands over to the center and fold those over. Just like that. And by the way, I just stretched my bracelet across to this pin so that way my bands are out of the way. But your loom should look something like this now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to reach inside all these top layers here and grab just the bottom 2 white ones. And pull those off of the pin. And then I'm just going to go ahead and place them right here. But that doesn't matter. Just like that. Then you're going to come in here, grab the bottom 2 bands on here as well. Pull those off and then place that over here. So that way you get something like this. So you should have a single chain right here, and that should connect all the bands, like hold them all together, so that way your loose end is over there now. So then we're going to take our C-clip and attach it onto the 4 layers of bands that are on this pin. And then you can remove everything off of your loom. So connect both ends together and then you're finished. So anyways, that is how you create this really crazy, huge, giant, enormous ribcage bracelet. This is more of a funky bracelet to wear, not necessarily something that is suitable for everyone because it is just huge, but it makes a really great crazy bracelet to wear. So anyways, if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and also the subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and find me on all my social media sites that are in the description box down below, especially on Instagram and Twitter because I'm most active on those, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!